So breaking news, the Green Bay Packers have suspended Jaire Alexander for a total of 1 game because of conduct that was detrimental to the team, because Jaire Alexander went out for the coin toss against the Panthers, and he was not supposed to because he was not the captain. And so now he's suspended for a game with the Vikings, which could eliminate them from the playoffs. We go live to the Packers now.
Everything's under control, situation normal. Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Haven't done a Packers news video in a while, Grossi, but yes, breaking news. As talked about in the intro, the Green Bay Packers came out and said that they have suspended Jaire Alexander for a total of 1 game, being the Week 17 matchup on Sunday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings. This was because Jaire Alexander decided to take it upon himself, which he confessed in a post-game interview in the locker room, in which he went out apparently to the coin toss, and he actually almost messed up the coin toss, in which the Panthers were going to get the ball both times, because that can happen. And so because of that, detrimental to the team, and he has been suspended for a game. And there are already some immediate reactions to this. First of all, shock. Second of all, there are now 2 camps. The camp that says this is a little bit harsh because Jaire Alexander is one of the best players on that defense, and now you're not going to have him to go up against Justin Jefferson. And again, if the Packers lose and the Rams or the Seahawks win, the Packers are eliminated from the postseason. So that's a big old problem. And then you have the other camp that is saying, well, you can't allow players to do whatever they want. He put the team at risk and could have given them a disadvantage against the Panthers, though I would argue we already had a disadvantage because Joe Barry's on the team. But that's neither here nor there. And so because of this, you had to set an example, because now there is not another player on that team that is going to make that same mistake. And currently where I'm sitting is just frustration. And the thing is with Jaire Alexander is he has had a very strange season in which he's out for a number of games. He doesn't get put on IR. When asked about it, LaFleur just says it was a misdiagnosis, or basically along the lines of, we just didn't think it was going to be that serious. He returns on Sunday. He's originally from Charlotte. He walks out without being one of the weekly captains, goes to the coin toss, almost messes it up, plays the game in which he doesn't do that well. He struggled in the game against the Panthers, goes back into the locker room after that win, and then confesses to reporters that he went out and almost screwed up the coin toss.
So were you supposed to be a captain? Because the team announces the 3 game captains, and you were the 4th, and you called the toss. What happened there?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's only suiting, I don't think Coach knew I was from Charlotte, so.
So you just did that on your own?
I mean, it was like the guys backed me up, so they knew I was from here.
Did you realize you almost made a big mistake on the call, though?
Yeah, no, I told them that, I said, I want our defense to be out there, and they all looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, it's pretty simple what I said. Like, I want the defense to be out there.
So what the hell is going on in Green Bay is the ultimate question. And from the Packers standpoint, I do understand the discipline there, because they're like, hey, this could have hurt the team. You're not supposed to do that. We have strict rules for that. I get that. The other part of me is like, maybe you could have just fined him to oblivion and maybe this wouldn't have happened again. And as I said before, them taking this action and suspending Jaire Alexander really kind of speaks that there is no player above the team, because they could definitely use Jaire Alexander against Justin Jefferson on Sunday in, again, a very important game in which the Packers are trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. So that's the very frustrating part, but I can understand it. The other part of me is like, this is just really crappy however you slice it, because he is a good player, and this kind of conduct, whether you're talking about what Jaire did or the team having to suspend him, I just hate it, because it's not talking about the product that's on the field. And then there's the camp going, well, why is Joe Barry still on the team and Jaire Alexander is getting suspended? And I get it, and I understand the frustration. And even Jaire's comments after the game, not regarding the coin toss, but talking about Joe Barry and saying like, yeah, at some point, it's just the plays that are called on the defense. You can only do so much. And it just seems like at the end of the day, However you slice this, there is a ton of dysfunction with that defense. With the defensive coordinator, there's obviously some issues with the players as well, and this does not look great. Now, the good news is the Packers are used to playing with Jaire Alexander for this past month and a half, so hopefully they'll be able to contain whoever the QB is going to be on Sunday night. But yeah, this just sucks, especially 2 weeks before the playoffs, which the Packers are desperately trying to get in. And yeah, I don't imagine we're going to have any more of these issues ever again because the Packers are sending a very strong statement with this. I just hate that it had to happen this week, that this was the course of action that was taken, and the fact that it happened at all. So yeah, everything's fine. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. You know, I send me at Tom Grossi Comedy. All social media see down below. A big shout out and thank you to all the patrons and YouTube members for supporting this channel. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.